My wife walked into the restaurant with another man on her arm, laughing louder than necessary so everyone would notice. She didn't even glance at me at first. She wanted the moment to build. When our eyes finally met, she smiled the same cold smile I had seen on the day she left me. "Well," she said, looking me up and down, "I didn't expect to find you eating somewhere this nice." The man beside her wrapped an arm around her waist. He was tall, expensive suit, perfect watch, the kind of confidence money usually buys. She leaned against him proudly. "This is my husband, Daniel." He extended his hand with an amused grin. "And you must be the ex." I shook his hand calmly. "Ryan." My ex-wife couldn't hide her satisfaction. 3 years earlier, she had walked away after telling everyone I would never recover financially. According to her, I had no ambition, no future, and no chance of becoming anyone important. She made sure our friends believed it. She made sure my own family believed it. What nobody knew was that I had signed one agreement before the divorce. One agreement that prevented me from revealing anything about the company I was building. Wasn't broke, I was simply silent, she thought. Silence meant failure. Now, she wanted to celebrate her victory in front of me. Daniel smiled politely. "So what do you do now?" Before I could answer, my ex laughed. "He's probably freelancing or something." Ryan always liked dreaming bigger than he could afford. Several nearby diners looked over. She wanted an audience. I simply smiled. "I work in technology." She rolled her eyes. "I remember. That's what you always said," Daniel chuckled. "What company?" I reached into my wallet and handed him a simple black business card. The moment he read it, every bit of color disappeared from his face. His smile vanished. His fingers actually trembled. He looked from the card to me, then back again. My ex frowned. "What happened?" Daniel swallowed. This isn't possible." She grabbed the card from him. At the top, in silver letters, were 4 words: Ryan Carter, founder and CEO. Below it was the company name, Nexora Systems. Her face remained confused. "So?" Daniel stared at her in disbelief. "So?" he nearly whispered. "Nexora is buying my company next month." She laughed nervously. "What?" Daniel looked at me carefully. "You're Ryan Carter?" "I am." "You own 58%? "Correct." "You approved the acquisition yourself?" "I signed the paperwork yesterday." The restaurant suddenly became very quiet. My ex looked between us. She still didn't understand. Daniel slowly stood straighter. His entire attitude changed. The arrogance disappeared. Instantly. "Mr. Carter," I smiled. "Ryan is fine." "No, I don't think so. He actually apologized. I had no idea." My ex blinked repeatedly. "Daniel, why are you talking to him like that?" He ignored her. Instead, he asked me one question. "Would you mind if we sat down?" I shrugged. "Go ahead." She looked horrified. "Weren't we leaving?" Daniel sat anyway. For the next 15 minutes, he asked intelligent questions about the acquisition, expansion plans, and future leadership. I answered politely. My ex sat silently. Eventually, she interrupted. "Can somebody explain what is happening?" Daniel looked at her as though she had insulted him. "You told me he never succeeded." "He didn't." Daniel slowly slid the business card back toward her. "Nexora Systems is worth nearly $2 billion. She laughed. "No, yes, no. I've spent 6 months negotiating with them." She stared at me. You're a billionaire." "I never said that." "But." "I said I worked in technology." Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. For the first time since our divorce, she realized she had never actually asked what happened after she left. She had assumed. Assumptions can become very expensive. She leaned toward me. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" "Because I legally couldn't." "What?" "The investors required complete confidentiality." "Until the company launched. You let everyone think you were broke." "I never corrected them." "But you were the one telling people." She remembered every family dinner, every social gathering, every sarcastic joke, every post online hinting that I had ruined my own life. I had never answered. She had created her own story. Daniel suddenly looked uncomfortable. "There is one more thing." I nodded. "I know." He looked surprised. "You know, I read every executive profile before approving." Acquisitions. He lowered his head. So, you already knew I was marrying your ex-wife? Yes. And you still approved the deal? Business isn't personal. My ex looked relieved. Then I added one sentence. Performances. Daniel froze. What do you mean? I've also reviewed every department. He became visibly nervous. You've had declining numbers for 3 consecutive quarters. He nodded slowly. No, I also noticed several expensive projects with very little return. He looked like he wanted the floor to open beneath him. I was planning to improve those. I'm sure you were. Silence. Then I smiled. But don't worry. His shoulders relaxed. We're keeping everyone who creates value. The words sounded encouraging until he realized what they actually meant. Everyone who creates value, not everyone. He understood immediately. So, my position, I haven't made that decision. He nodded. I understand. My ex suddenly grabbed my hand. Ryan, maybe we could talk sometime. I gently moved my hand away. I don't think that would be appropriate. We were married. We were. I made mistakes. So, did I? She smiled hopefully. You did? I ignored every warning people gave me about your character. Her smile disappeared. I've changed. I'm glad. I mean it. I believe you. You do? I believe everyone changes. She looked hopeful again, but change doesn't erase choices. Her eyes filled with tears. I never stopped caring. I looked directly at her. The day you left, you said something I've never forgotten, she whispered. What? You told me success wasn't about patience. I nodded. You were right. She looked confused. It's about character, Daniel. Quietly stood. I think we should go. She refused to move. Ryan, if I had known. I finished her sentence. You wouldn't have left. She couldn't answer, because we both knew the truth. If she had known about the money, she never would have walked away. That wasn't love. That was investment. And investments are judged by returns. She had sold her shares far too early. As they walked toward the exit, Daniel turned back one final time. I'm sorry for earlier. No apology needed. I misjudged you, I smiled. You judged me exactly. The way she taught you to. He lowered his eyes after they left. The waiter approached my table. Were those people bothering you, sir? I smiled. Not anymore. As I signed the bill, I glanced through the restaurant window. Outside, my ex was arguing with Daniel. He pointed at the business card again. She looked devastated. For years, she believed the greatest revenge was watching me fail. She never imagined the greatest revenge would be watching me succeed, without ever needing her to witness the journey. Sometimes the loudest victory is built in complete silence, and sometimes karma doesn't knock on the door. It simply waits until the right people introduce themselves.